I still remember the afternoon my mother carried 2 large suitcases to the front door. I smiled because I thought she was leaving for another short business trip. "Mom, when are you coming back?" I asked. She kept folding clothes into the suitcase. "Soon," I laughed. "Can you bring me that baseball cap you promised?" She stopped moving for a second but never looked at me. Before she answered, my father walked into the living room. "Linda," he said quietly, "please don't do this." My smile disappeared. "Do what?" I asked. Nobody answered. My father looked at me, then back at her. "Tell him the truth." She sighed. "Nathan, go to your room." "No. This isn't a conversation for you. It is if it's about us." My father rubbed his face. "He deserves to know." She finally looked at me. Her eyes were cold, almost like she had already left. "I'm moving out." I frowned. "For how long?" "Forever." I laughed because it sounded impossible. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking." I stared at her. "What do you mean forever?" "I'm starting a new life. With us." She slowly shook her head. "No." My heart began pounding. "What about Dad?" "I'm divorcing him." "What about me?" She looked away again. "You'll stay here." The room suddenly felt smaller. "I don't understand." "You will someday." "No, tell me now." My father's voice cracked. "Linda, please. Don't make this harder." She zipped the suitcase. "I've already made my decision." Dad stepped in front of the door. "We can fix this." "No. We've been together for 17 years. I know. We have a son. I know. Then why?" She took a slow breath. "I'm tired of struggling. We're getting through it. I don't want to get through it anymore." I couldn't stay silent. "So you're leaving because we're poor?" She closed her eyes. "It's more complicated." "Then explain it." "I'm marrying Charles." The name hit me like a punch. "The rich man?" "Yes." "The one with the big house?" "Yes." "The one who keeps buying you expensive gifts?" "Yes." I stared at her. "So, you chose him?" "I chose a better future." My father whispered, "Our family was your future." She looked at him. "I deserve happiness." Dad's shoulders dropped. "Weren't we enough?" She didn't answer. I walked closer. "Mom." She stayed silent. "Did I do something wrong?" "No." "Then why don't you want me?" "I never said that." "You don't have to." "Nathan." "You said I'm staying here. Your father loves you." "I asked about you." Tears burned my eyes. "Don't you love me anymore?" She covered her face for a moment. "I'll visit." "When?" "Weekends." "You promise?" "Yes." My father looked at her. "Don't promise what you won't keep." She ignored him. I whispered, "Will you still come to my birthday?" "Of course." "My school games?" "I'll try." "Try isn't yes." She picked up her purse. "I have to go." Dad reached for her hand. "Please." She gently pulled away. "I'm sorry." "No," he answered. "You're sorry for yourself." She opened the front door. I followed her outside. The afternoon sun felt strangely cold. She placed the suitcases into a shiny black car. Charles sat behind the wheel. He smiled at me. "Take care of yourself, kid." I didn't answer. My mother opened the passenger door. "Mom!" She stopped. I ran toward her. "Can I hug you?" For one long second, I believed she would. Instead, she stepped back. "I'll see you soon." My arms slowly fell to my sides. She got into the car. The engine started. I stood on the porch beside my father. The car rolled down the street. I kept hoping it would stop. It never did. Just before it disappeared, she lowered the window. "You'll understand when you're older." Then she was gone. I kept staring at the empty road. Dad stood beside me without saying anything. After several minutes, he placed one hand on my shoulder. "I'm here." I swallowed hard. "I won't cry." "You don't have to be strong today." "I do." "Why?" "Because she didn't even hug me." He pulled me into his arms. I finally realized something I had never imagined. My mother hadn't just left our house. She had left me. That afternoon, A part of my childhood disappeared with her, and I silently promised myself that no matter how much it hurt, I would never beg anyone to stay again. The alarm rang before sunrise, and I heard my father already moving around the kitchen. "You're awake?" I asked as I walked in. He smiled, but the dark circles under his eyes worried me. "I've been awake for an hour." "You're leaving early again?" "I picked up another job." "You worked late yesterday." "We need the money." "I can help more." "You already help enough." I looked at the empty chair where my mother used to drink coffee. My father noticed. "Don't." "I'm trying not to." "Good." He handed me a plate. "Eat." "I'm not hungry." "You'll need energy." I forced myself to take a few bites. "Will she call today?" He stayed quiet. "I don't know." "She promised." "I know." "Do you think she forgot?" "I think people sometimes choose what matters most to them." His answer hurt more than silence. After school, I walked straight to the repair shop where my father worked. He looked up from under a truck. "You're early." "My homework can wait." "It shouldn't." "I want to help." He handed me a clean rag. "Then start with those tools." "Got it." For hours we worked side by side. "You learn fast," he said. "I've had a good teacher." He smiled. "I needed that today." So did I. When we finally locked the garage, he stretched his sore back. "Tired?" "A little." "You look exhausted." "I've looked worse." "You don't have to pretend with me." "I'm not pretending." "You are." He laughed softly. "Maybe just a little." Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Every afternoon looked almost the same. School, garage, dinner, homework, sleep. One evening I checked the mailbox. Only bills. "No card?" my father asked. I shook my head. "Maybe tomorrow." He nodded, but neither of us believed it. My birthday arrived. I woke up hoping my phone would ring. It stayed silent. My father walked into my room carrying pancakes with one candle. "Happy birthday, son." "Thanks. I know it isn't much." "It's perfect." He sat beside me. "You've been checking your phone." "I wasn't." "You don't have to lie." "I thought she might remember." He lowered his eyes. "I'm sorry. It isn't your fault." "No, but I wish I could protect you from this." "You already do." He squeezed my shoulder. "I'm proud of you." Those 4 words meant more than every gift she had ever bought me. At school a few weeks later, I accidentally dropped my books. Papers scattered across the hallway. "Oh no," I muttered. Someone knelt beside me. "I've got these." I looked up. A girl smiled at me. "I'm Emma." "Thanks. You looked like you needed help." "I usually manage." "Everyone needs help sometimes." I picked up the last notebook. "I'm Nathan. It's nice to meet you." "You too." She studied my face. "You seem sad." "I just don't smile much." "Why not?" "I forgot how." She laughed gently. "That's the saddest answer I've ever heard." "I'm serious." "I know." She handed me my notebook. "Maybe you just need better friends." "I've never been good at making those." "You just made one." I blinked. "You don't even know me." "I know enough." "How?" "You said thank you." I laughed before I could stop myself. "There it is," she said. "What?" "Your smile. It doesn't visit often." "I hope it comes back." For the first time in months, walking home didn't feel quite as lonely. That evening my father noticed. "Something happened today." "Why do you think that?" "You smiled." "I met someone." "A good someone?" "I think so." "I'm glad." "So am I." He leaned back in his chair. "Remember something." "What?" "When life becomes difficult, people show who they really are." "I've been thinking about that." "Your mother made her choice." "I know." "You'll meet people who make different choices." "I hope so." "You already have." I thought about Emma's smile. Maybe. Christmas came. The house stayed quiet. I kept looking at my phone anyway. Nothing. No message. No call. No apology. I finally placed the phone face down. "I'm done waiting," I whispered. My father looked at me across the room. "That isn't giving up." "What is it?" "It's growing." I nodded slowly. For the first time since my mother left, I believed him. I still missed her. I still wondered whether she ever thought about me. But every day my father's strength became louder than her silence. And every small act of kindness reminded me that the people who stayed beside me mattered far more than the one who chose to leave. The morning started like every other workday. My father grabbed his lunchbox. "I'm heading to the garage," he said. "I'll come after class. You have an exam. I'll come afterward." He smiled. "I'll be waiting. Don't work too hard. I make no promises." I laughed. "See you tonight." "See you, son." Those were the last words I heard him say before everything changed. Halfway through my afternoon class, my phone vibrated. The screen showed the garage owner's number. "Hello, Nathan. You need to come to County Hospital." My heart skipped. "Why?" "Your father collapsed." "I'll be there." I ran without another question. By the time I reached the hospital, my hands were shaking. A nurse stopped me. "Are you Nathan Carter?" "Yes." "Your father is awake. Can I see him?" She nodded. I pushed the door open. My father smiled weakly. "You ran all the way here, didn't you? I thought I was going to lose you." "I'm still here. For now." He sighed. "I scared you. You terrified me." I pulled a chair beside his bed. "What happened?" My body finally complained. "You've worked too much." "I know. I told you to slow down." "You did. You never listened." He chuckled softly. "You sound older than me." "I'm serious." "So am I." The doctor entered. "Mr. Carter needs complete rest." "Will he recover?" I asked. "He has a weak heart." My chest tightened. "What does that mean?" "It means stress could become dangerous." After the doctor left, I looked at my father. "You heard him." "I did." "So quit. We still have bills." "I'll work." "You should finish college." "I can do both." "You shouldn't have to." "I want to." He reached for my hand. "I've spent my whole life trying to give you a better future. You already did. I couldn't buy you nice things. I never wanted nice things. I couldn't keep your mother here. That wasn't your fault. I couldn't give you the childhood you deserved." I shook my head. "You gave me everything." He looked surprised. "I gave you old clothes. You gave me honesty. I gave you a small house. You gave me safety. I gave you long workdays. You gave me an example." His eyes filled with tears. "You really believe that?" "I know it." He smiled through the tears. "I worried you would hate me. I could never hate you. You deserved better. I had the best father in the world." He squeezed my hand. "Thank you." For the next few days, I stayed beside him whenever visiting hours allowed. Sometimes we talked. Sometimes we simply sat together. One evening he looked at me quietly. "Nathan." "Yes." "If something happens to me, don't." "Listen." "I don't want to." "Please." I nodded. "Promise me you'll keep studying." "I will." "Promise me you won't waste your life chasing anger." I looked down. "I've been angry for years." "I know. She left us." "I know. I still don't understand why." "You may never understand." "I want answers." "You need peace more than answers." I stayed silent. He smiled gently. "Build a life that makes you proud." "What if I fail?" "You'll stand up again." "What if I'm alone?" "You won't be." "How can you know that?" "Because good people eventually find each other." I smiled. "You still believe that?" "I do." "I'll try." "Don't try." "What?" "Promise." I held his hand tighter. "I promise. I'll finish college." "Good." "I'll build something meaningful." "Good." "I'll become someone you would be proud of." He closed his eyes for a moment. "I already am." The machines beside him suddenly beeped faster. "Dad." He opened his eyes again. "I love you." "I love you too." A nurse rushed inside. Then another. A doctor followed. "Please step outside." "No. We need room." "I want to stay." "You can't." I backed away. The door closed. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the doctor walked toward me. "I'm sorry." Everything around me became silent. The funeral took place 3 days later. People from the neighborhood came. Mechanics, friends, old customers. Everyone had a story about my father. He helped me when I couldn't pay. He fixed my car for free. He was an honest man. I realized how many lives he had touched. Then I saw someone standing near the back. My mother. She wore black sunglasses. For 1 second I thought she might walk toward me. She didn't. She placed flowers beside my father's coffin. She whispered something I couldn't hear. Then she turned around. I watched her walk away exactly as she had years earlier. I didn't call her name. I didn't run after her. I simply stood there. When her car disappeared, I finally understood something. I had spent years waiting for someone who had already chosen another life. That waiting ended beside my father's grave. I looked at the fresh earth and whispered, I kept my promise the day I made it. I will build a future worthy of your sacrifice. I won't let grief destroy me. I won't let anger define me. Every success I earn will carry your name, and every dream I achieve will begin with the lessons you gave me. Thank you for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. I walked away carrying heartbreak in my chest, but for the first time, I also carried purpose. The first day of college felt nothing like the first day of high school. I wasn't looking for friends. I wasn't looking for happiness. I was looking for a future. As I walked into my first architecture class, a voice stopped me. You're Nathan Carter, aren't you? I turned around. Yes, I'm Professor Henry Wilson. It's nice to meet you, Professor. I read your scholarship application. I smiled politely. I hope it wasn't too boring. He laughed. It wasn't. It sounded honest. Thank you. I expect great things from you. I'll do my best. Don't do your best. I looked confused. Do better than your best. His words stayed with me long after class ended. Outside the building, someone waved at me. Nathan. I smiled. Emma. She walked over carrying 2 cups of coffee. I guessed you'd forget breakfast. I almost did. I know you. You really do. She handed me 1 cup. Consider this an investment. In what? In your future. I laughed. You've been saying that since high school. And I've been right. You usually are. She looked at me carefully. Are you sleeping enough? Probably not. Studying too much? Trying to. You don't have to carry the whole world. I promised my father. You've told me. I can't fail him. You won't. How can you be so sure? Because you never quit. Her confidence always felt stronger than my doubts. Months passed. Assignments became harder. Deadlines became shorter. One afternoon, Professor Wilson stopped beside my desk. Who designed this project? I did. Without help. Yes. He smiled. You see buildings differently. I just imagine people living inside them. That's exactly why you'll become an architect. You really think so? I don't waste compliments. Thank you. I want you to enter the national student competition. I don't think I'm ready. I didn't ask what you think. I laughed. Then I'll enter. Good choice. That evening Emma waited outside the library. How did it go? I've got more work. You sound happy about that. I actually am. She smiled. I knew today would be different. Professor Wilson believes in me. So do I. I know. You never stopped. I never will. I looked into her eyes. Why? She shrugged. Because you're worth believing in. My heart beat faster. I wanted to tell her how much she meant to me. Instead, I simply said, thank you. During my final year, I met Oliver Hayes. He sat beside me during a business seminar. This speaker is boring, he whispered. I thought I was the only one thinking that. He grinned. I'm Oliver. Nathan. You planning to work for some big company? I haven't decided. I have. What? I'm never working for anybody. I laughed. That's ambitious. So are you. How do you know? I've been watching your presentations. Hopefully not in a creepy way. He laughed loudly. Only professionally. After class we kept talking. What do you really want? he asked. I want to build homes people are proud to live in. That's exactly what I want. Seriously. Seriously. We don't even have money. We'll figure it out. We don't have clients. We'll find them. We don't even have an office. My garage counts. I couldn't stop smiling. You sound impossible. I prefer optimistic. A few months after graduation, we rented one tiny office with old furniture and peeling paint. Oliver looked around. This place is terrible. It is. I love it. So do I. Emma walked in carrying pizza. I brought dinner. Oliver smiled. You must be Emma. I've heard about you. Only good things? Mostly. We all laughed. Emma looked around. This office won't stay this small forever. You really think we'll succeed? I asked. She looked directly at me. I know you will. Late one evening, after finishing another project, Emma and I stood outside. I'm proud of you, she said. I couldn't have done this alone. I know. I mean it. So do I. I took a deep breath. Emma. Yes. I don't want to imagine my future without you. She smiled. I was wondering how long it would take. You already knew? I've known for years. I love you. I love you too. I kissed her beneath the streetlight, feeling happier than I had since childhood. Life finally felt like it was moving forward instead of looking backward. Months later, our company completed its first major project. Oliver rushed into my office. We did it. We actually did. Our next client already signed. I laughed. My father would have loved this. He'd be proud. I hope so. One afternoon, while walking to meet a client, I overheard two businessmen talking. Did you hear about Charles Bennett? The investor? He lost millions. I heard it was a terrible decision. They say everything is falling apart. I kept walking. The name no longer controlled my emotions. Whatever happened inside my mother's new life belonged to choices she had made without me. I refused to carry them. As I crossed another street, someone caught my attention. A woman stood outside a small pharmacy. She looked thinner. Her expensive clothes were gone. Dark circles surrounded her tired eyes. She slowly lifted her head. Our eyes met. My heart stopped. It was my mother. She looked frightened, exhausted, and completely different from the woman who had walked away believing wealth could replace family. Before I could move or speak, she turned quickly and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me frozen on the sidewalk with questions I never expected to ask again. I checked my email early Monday morning and noticed a message from someone I didn't recognize. My name is Margaret Bennett. We need to talk about your mother. Please meet me this afternoon. Come alone. I read the message twice before calling Emma. Can you talk? Always, she replied. What's wrong? I received a strange email. From who? Margaret Bennett. There was a brief silence. Charles Bennett's sister? I think so. What does she want? She says she wants to tell me the truth. Are you going? I don't know. What does your heart say? My heart says to delete the email. And your mind? My mind says I've spent years wondering what really happened. Emma spoke gently. If you go, don't expect closure. What should I expect? The truth. Sometimes that's harder. I'll be careful. I know you will. That afternoon I walked into a quiet coffee shop. A woman in her 60s stood and smiled sadly. Nathan? Yes. I'm Margaret. I sat across from her. You wanted to see me. I did. I don't have much time. I'll get straight to the point. She folded her hands. I'm sorry. For what? For what happened to you? You didn't leave me. No. So why apologize? Because I watched everything happen. I frowned. What do you mean? I watched your mother destroy her own life. I stayed silent. She continued. When Linda married my brother, she believed she had found happiness. She chose money. Yes. And she chose his family over ours. I know. So why am I here? Because the story didn't end there. I leaned back. I'm listening. My brother changed. He always seemed charming. He was at first. What happened? Success made him proud. Failure made him cruel. I felt my chest tighten. He lost money? He made terrible investments. How bad? Worse than anyone expected. What did he do? He blamed everyone except himself. My mother too? Especially your mother. I looked away. She made her choice. She did. So why should I feel sorry for her? You don't have to. Margaret sighed. But you deserve to know the truth. What truth? He controlled every part of her life. I stared at her. What do you mean? He decided who she could call. What? He checked her phone. I frowned. He isolated her from friends. I didn't answer. He even stopped her from contacting relatives. So she couldn't reach me? Not easily. I crossed my arms. She still left. Yes. She still broke our family. Yes. Nothing changes that. No. Margaret nodded. I agree. She took a sip of coffee. Then his company collapsed. I heard rumors. They were true. What happened next? They sold the house. And then, they sold almost everything. I remembered the elegant woman who had driven away years ago. It was hard to imagine that life disappearing. What about Jessica? I asked quietly. Margaret looked disappointed. She married a wealthy businessman. And she moved overseas. Did she help them? No. Not even her father? No. I let out a slow breath. So everyone left. Yes. Just like my mother left me. Margaret lowered her eyes. That's why I wanted to meet you. Why? Because karma isn't always loud. Her words echoed inside my mind. I looked through the window. For years I had imagined my mother living a perfect life. Now I realized perfection had only been a picture. Behind it had been fear, loneliness, and regret. Still, my childhood memories refused to disappear. I used to wait by the window, I whispered. Margaret looked at me. For her. Every weekend. I'm sorry. She promised she'd visit. I know. I believed her. I know. She never came. Margaret reached across the table. I didn't move my hand. I can't erase that pain. No one can. But she regrets it. I laughed without humor. Regret doesn't give me my childhood back. No. It doesn't bring my father back either. No. She nodded slowly. I understand. After a long silence she stood. I've told you everything I came to say. Why now? Because she has nobody left. I looked at her. Not even me. She didn't argue. She simply walked away. That evening Emma found me sitting alone on our porch. You met her. I did. How did it go? I finally learned the truth. Do you feel better? I don't know. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she asked quietly, What are you thinking? I'm thinking my mother suffered. You are. I'm also thinking she chose that life. You are. I don't know which feeling is stronger. Emma took my hand. Maybe they don't have to compete. What do you mean? You can understand someone's pain without excusing what they did. I looked at her. I've carried anger for years. I know. What if I need it? She smiled gently. Let me ask you something. What? If pain changed you into a better man, why let hatred change you now? I couldn't answer. Her question stayed with me long after the conversation ended, following me into the quiet night and forcing me to wonder whether holding on to my anger honored my father, or only kept my mother's shadow alive inside my heart. Rain hammered against my windows as I finished reviewing blueprints in my home office. Emma walked in carrying 2 mugs. You've been working for hours. I want to finish this project tonight. It can wait. So can sleep. She smiled. I made coffee. You always know what I need. I usually do. Before I could take the mug, someone knocked on the front door. We looked at each other. Are you expecting anyone? Emma asked. No. The knocking came again, louder this time. I'll get it. I walked through the hallway. When I opened the door, I froze. My mother stood on the porch. Rain soaked her thin coat. One old suitcase rested beside her. Her hands shook. She looked older than I remembered. Dark circles surrounded her eyes. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, she whispered, "Nathan." I couldn't answer. Tears rolled down her face. "I have nowhere else to go." My throat tightened. Every memory I had buried rushed back. The afternoon she left. My father's tears. Empty birthdays. Silent Christmas mornings. His funeral. Years of waiting. All of it returned at once. Emma stepped beside me. She looked at my mother, then at me. Without hesitation she spoke. "Please come inside." My mother shook her head. "I don't want to cause trouble. You're already soaked. I don't deserve kindness." Emma answered softly. "Come in anyway." My mother slowly picked up her suitcase. She stepped inside. I closed the door. Nobody spoke while Emma handed her a towel. "Thank you," my mother whispered. Emma nodded. "I'll make tea." When Emma walked into the kitchen, my mother finally looked at me. "I hardly recognize you. I grew up." "I know. You missed it." She lowered her eyes. "I did." I folded my arms. "Why are you here?" "I had nowhere else." "What happened to Charles?" "We divorced." "What happened to his money?" "It disappeared." "And his friends?" "They disappeared too." I laughed bitterly. Money attracts strange loyalty. It does. "What about Jessica?" "She moved overseas." "Does she call?" "No." "Does she visit?" "No." I looked at her quietly. "So now you know how it feels." She closed her eyes. "I do." Emma returned with 3 cups of tea. She placed one in front of each of us. "Drink," she said gently. My mother wrapped both hands around the cup. "I've spent years wanting this conversation." I answered, "I've spent years avoiding it." "I understand." "Do you?" She nodded slowly. "I thought money would make everything easier. And I was wrong." I stayed silent. I believed a beautiful house meant a beautiful life. It didn't. "No." "What happened?" She sighed. "Charles changed. Margaret told me." "She told you?" "Everything." My mother's shoulders dropped. "Then you know." "I know he controlled you." "Yes." "I know he isolated you." "Yes." "I know his business failed." "Yes." I looked into her tired eyes. "But none of that happened before you left us." She started crying again. "No. You made that choice." "I did." "You left Dad." "I did." "You left me." "I know." Her voice broke. I've repeated that sentence in my mind every day. I didn't know what to say. She continued. "I thought I'd have another chance. You had hundreds. I kept telling myself I would visit next week. You never came. I was ashamed. You should have been." She nodded. "I was." The room became quiet. Rain continued hitting the windows. Finally she spoke again. "I heard about your father. You didn't come. I wanted to. You didn't. I couldn't face you. You chose not to." "Yes." She wiped away her tears. "I've lost everything. My father warned me that people reveal who they really are when life becomes difficult. He was right. He always was." She smiled sadly. "He was a better person than I deserved." I felt anger rising again. "He loved you until the end." "I know." "You broke him." "I know." "You broke me too." "I know." She covered her face. "I'm sorry." Those words echoed through the room. For years I had imagined hearing them. Now they felt strangely small. "I'm not asking you to forget." "I can't." "I'm not asking you to pretend nothing happened." "I won't." She looked directly at me. "I'm only asking for one chance to become someone you can speak to without pain." Emma quietly reached for my hand beneath the table. I squeezed hers. My mother noticed. "I'm glad you're not alone. I almost believed I always would be. You deserved better." "I deserved a mother." She nodded through fresh tears. "You did." She stood slowly. "If you want me to leave, I'll go." I looked toward the front door. The rain had become even heavier. I remembered my father opening our home to neighbors who needed help, even when we barely had enough ourselves. His voice seemed to echo inside my heart. Do the right thing even when it's difficult. I took a long breath. You can stay tonight. She stared at me. Really? Only tonight? Thank you. This isn't forgiveness. I understand. It isn't a promise. I know. It's simply because my father raised me better than anger ever could. She began crying again. Emma smiled softly. I'll prepare the guest room. As Emma walked away, I remained standing in the living room, staring at the woman who had once walked out of my life without looking back. Now she stood before me with nothing except one worn suitcase and unbearable regret. I realized the hardest battle of my life had never been building my future. It was deciding whether my heart was strong enough to open one small door after she had closed every door behind her years ago. The weeks after my mother arrived passed more quietly than I expected. Every morning I found her already awake. One Saturday she asked, "Can I make breakfast?" I looked at Emma. Emma smiled. "Go ahead." My mother nodded. "I remember your favorite pancakes." I answered honestly, "I don't." She lowered her eyes. "That's fair." We ate together in silence until Emma spoke. "These are really good." My mother smiled faintly. "Thank you." I simply nodded. It wasn't acceptance. It was a beginning. A few days later, I walked into the kitchen and found my mother washing dishes. "You don't have to do that," I said. "I want to. We have a dishwasher." "I know." "Then why?" "Because I spent too many years taking everything for granted." I leaned against the doorway. "You don't have to earn your meals." "I'm not trying to." "What are you trying to do?" She looked at me. "I'm trying to become someone who gives instead of takes." I didn't answer. For the first time, her apology wasn't made with words. It was made with actions. One afternoon, I returned home early. Laughter filled the living room. I stopped outside the door. My daughter Sophie sat on the floor building a toy castle. My mother sat beside her. "Look, Grandma," Sophie said. "You made that all by yourself?" My mother asked. "Daddy helped yesterday." "I think your daddy is very smart." Sophie laughed. "My daddy can build anything." I smiled without meaning to. Sophie noticed me. "Daddy!" She ran into my arms. "Guess what?" "What?" "Grandma taught me how to bake cookies." "Did she?" "They're funny looking." My mother laughed softly. "They taste better than they look." I looked at her. "I've never heard you laugh like that." She answered quietly. "I forgot how." That evening Sophie climbed onto my lap. "Daddy?" "Yes." "Is Grandma staying forever?" I hesitated. "I don't know. I like her." "I'm glad. She tells nice stories." I smiled gently. "I'm happy you're making memories with her." She hugged me. "I love you." "I love you too." After Sophie went to bed, my mother stood outside on the porch. "I need to tell you something." "I'm listening." "I know I don't deserve Sophie." "You don't." She nodded. "But every minute with her reminds me what I threw away." I stayed silent. "When I watch you with her, I see your father." That surprised me. "What do you mean?" "You never raise your voice." "I learned from him." "You always listen." "I learned from him." "You make time for her." "I learned from him." Tears filled her eyes. "He became the parent I should have been." "Yes." She didn't argue. "I think about him every day." "So do I." "I wish I could apologize." "You can't." "I know." A week later, I drove alone to the cemetery. I carried fresh flowers. I stood beside my father's grave. "Hi, Dad." The wind moved quietly through the trees. "I've been angry for so long." I looked at his name carved into the stone. "I thought holding on to that anger honored you." I smiled sadly. "I finally understand that it doesn't." I remembered his voice. "Promise me you won't waste your life chasing anger." I closed my eyes. You were right. I stayed there for several minutes. When I returned home, my mother was sitting alone. She stood as soon as she saw me. "Can we talk?" "Yes." We sat across from each other. She folded her hands nervously. I've been waiting. So have I. I took a slow breath. I went to see Dad today. Her eyes filled with tears. I think about him every day. I believe you. I wish I could undo everything. You can't. I know. Silence filled the room. Finally I spoke. I forgive you. She stared at me. You? What? I forgive you. She covered her mouth. I don't deserve that. Maybe not. She started crying. Thank you. I shook my head. Listen carefully. She nodded. Forgiveness isn't the same as going back. I understand. No, I need you to really hear me. I'm listening. I forgive you because I don't want to carry this pain anymore. She quietly wiped away her tears. But I can't become that little boy again. I know. I can't wait by the window hoping you'll visit. I know. I can't pretend birthdays didn't hurt. I know. I can't erase Dad's tears. I know. I can't give you the years you missed. I know. Her shoulders shook as she cried. I accept that. I looked directly into her eyes. I want peace. So do I. I want honesty. You'll always have it. I want healthy boundaries. You deserve them. I nodded. Then we can move forward. She whispered, Thank you for giving me even that much. Emma quietly walked into the room. Everything okay? I smiled for the first time in years. It will be. My mother looked at me with quiet acceptance. She finally understood that forgiveness had opened a new door, but it was not the same door she had closed years ago. Some relationships could never return to what they once were. Some childhoods could never be relived. Some wounds would always leave scars. But scars no longer had to control my future. I walked toward Sophie's room, knowing my father had been right all along. Forgiveness did not change the past. Changed me. Morning sunlight filled my office as Oliver walked in holding a stack of contracts. You'd better sit down, he said. I laughed. That good. Better. He placed the papers on my desk. We just signed our 5th national project. I stared at him. You're serious? I've never been more serious. I smiled. Dad would never believe this. Oliver grinned. I think he always would. I looked around the office. The walls that once held borrowed calendars now displayed photographs of buildings my team had designed. Every success reminded me of one promise made beside a hospital bed. Emma stepped inside. I heard shouting. We're expanding again, I said. She hugged me. I'm proud of you. I couldn't have done this alone. You never had to. Oliver pointed toward the door. I'll leave you too before this becomes embarrassing. Emma laughed. Good idea. After he left, she looked at me. You're thinking about him. I always am. He'd be smiling today. I hope so. You know he would. That afternoon I met my mother for lunch at a small cafe. She arrived carrying a simple handbag instead of expensive designer purses. Hi, Nathan. Hi. She smiled gently. You look happy. I am. I'm glad. The waitress took our order. After she left, my mother spoke quietly. I found a job. What kind? I work at the local library. Do you like it? I do. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't either. She laughed softly. It turns out peace pays differently than money. I smiled. I'm happy for you. I rented a small apartment. How is it? It's quiet. You like quiet now? I used to be afraid of silence. And now silence reminds me that nobody is shouting. I nodded slowly. I'm sorry your life became that. So am I. She looked at me carefully. Thank you for giving me another chance to know you. I gave you a chance to know the man I became. I know. I can't give you the boy you left. I stopped asking for him. I respected that answer. When lunch ended, she stood. Can I hug you? I hesitated. Then I stepped forward. Our hug was brief, gentle, respectful. Not because we had forgotten the past, because we had accepted it. A week later I unlocked my father's old workshop. The smell of wood and machine oil instantly brought back memories. I looked around the empty building. Emma walked beside me. It still feels like him. It always will. What are you thinking? I don't want this place to stay empty. So what do you want? I want kids like me to find hope here. She smiled. Then let's build it. Months of hard work transformed the workshop. Fresh paint covered the old walls. New tools filled the workstations. Classrooms replaced storage rooms. Oliver walked through the entrance. This place is incredible. I smiled. It finally feels alive again. Sophie ran inside. Daddy, what do you think? It's huge. She pointed toward the sign outside. Can I read it? Go ahead. She smiled proudly. Michael Carter Youth Training Center. She looked back at me. That's Grandpa. It is. Was he a hero? I felt my throat tighten. He was mine. Opening day arrived. Teenagers filled the building. Some came from foster homes. Some had lost parents. Some simply had nobody who believed in them. I stood in front of them. When I was your age, I thought being abandoned meant I had no future. The room became quiet. I was wrong. Several students listened carefully. I learned something important. A boy raised his hand. What? The people who leave you don't decide who you become. He nodded slowly. Another student asked, who helped you? My father. And after he died? My family. You had family? I smiled. I built one. Applause filled the room. That evening everyone finally left. Emma walked beside me. You changed lives today. I hope so. You already have. Sophie grabbed my hand. Daddy. Yes. When I grow up, can I help here too? You can help anywhere kindness is needed. She smiled. I'll help here first. My heart filled with pride. As we stepped outside, I noticed someone standing near the gate. My mother. She looked toward the building. It's beautiful, she said. Thank you. Your father would be proud. I think so. He always wanted people to have opportunities. He taught me that. She looked at the sign again. You honored him perfectly. I wanted his name to help people forever. She smiled through quiet tears. I spent years believing success meant having the biggest house. And now I know success means leaving something good behind. I nodded. I'm glad you found that. So am I. She stepped closer. I won't keep you. You don't have to. I just wanted to see what you built. You've seen it. And it's wonderful. She turned to leave. Halfway to the sidewalk, she looked back. I'm proud of you. I smiled. Thank you. She walked away peacefully. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel regret. I simply wished her well. Emma slipped her hand into mine. You okay? I've never been better. She leaned against me. You deserve this life. We deserve it. Sophie stood between us and laughed. Family hug. We laughed together and wrapped our arms around each other. As the sun slowly disappeared beyond the trees, I locked the workshop for the night. I rested my hand on the old key for a moment. Thank you, Dad. I whispered. You taught me that love is measured by sacrifice, not by blood. You showed me that staying matters more than promising, that kindness is stronger than bitterness, and that forgiveness frees the heart without changing the truth. I lost a mother when I was young, but I never lost the lessons you gave me. Because of you, I stopped chasing the people who walked away and started building a life with the people who stayed. That became my greatest success. I slipped the key into my pocket, took Emma's hand, watched Sophie run ahead with laughter echoing through the evening, and walked home with the family I chose, the peace I earned, and the future nobody could ever take away from me.